What's up, guys? Welcome back to this channel. So here is an important topic I want to talk about. There's been over 10,000 studies done on this, and it is excessive sitting. Excessive sitting is one of the worst things we can do for our health, and I don't think many people actually understand how bad excessive sitting is. We've been told from a kid, yeah, we all know being inactive is not a good thing. Being sedentary is a bad thing. We all know that, but I don't think society and people in general realize how bad sitting really is for your body. I mean, sure, sitting here and there is okay. Chronic sitting, excessive sitting is actually really bad for our health. I don't think many people realize this, so I would like to shed some light on this and bring it to people's attention so that we can live healthier lives. Because if we're not living healthy lives and we're not living life to the fullest, I want to live my life to the fullest, and I think all you watching do too. So again, there's been over 10,000 studies done. Some are suggesting now that this is actually worse for our health than smoking. Yes, you heard that right. Some studies will say this is worse for your health than actually smoking cigarettes every day. Sitting causes type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's. It's important to realize that inactivity in the form of extended sitting is one of the primary risk factors for insulin resistance and ultimately type 2 diabetes. The reason for this is because sitting shuts down or blocks a number of insulin systems, including muscular and cellular systems that process blood sugar, triglycerides, and cholesterol. Standing up activates all of these systems. Studies have found that people with lower levels of insulin and insulin receptors in the brain often have Alzheimer's disease, which we have an epidemic of Alzheimer's in our world today. And I don't think sitting's the only reason that's causing that. I think artificial sweeteners and other crap in our diet is actually causing Alzheimer's. It's an epidemic today. Our ancestors didn't have Alzheimer's and dementia like we do today. And here's some of the obvious things of sitting. Tight hip flexors, rounded shoulders, lack of mental focus. We're all familiar with Pixar, right? Those Disney cartoons, Toy Story, all those good ones, Monsters, Inc. Those movies have all one thing in common, Pixar. Their movies are always so creative and always so interesting and always so fun to watch because it's so creative. Well, one of the things they do at Pixar, and I took a creativity class and I learned this years ago, is their workers get up and they go on skateboards and they clear their head. They have fun because it's hard to be creative when you're just in a bad environment and you're just sitting in front of a desk, in front of a computer all day. Your brain is just not in that creative moment, I guess you could call it. What they do is they go out and they skateboard, and they don't do that all day, every day. They do it part of the time just to kind of clear their head. Put all my sources down below that I'm quoting from. So one of the articles I read, and this is supposedly, I'm going to say supposedly because I find this actually hard to believe, but according to Dr. James Levine, showing that every hour you sit down, your life expectancy decreases by 2 hours. For comparison, every cigarette smoke reduces life expectancy by 11 minutes. That's hard to believe. 2 hours of sitting will reduce an hour of your life. That's very hard for me to believe. But that's according to this article I was reading, Dr. James Levine. So that, in comparison, is worse for your health than smoking. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, a study followed 7,278 men and 9,735 women in Canada Fitness Survey in 1981 with a 12-year follow-up study. The results of the study suggested sitting is associated with elevated risk of mortality from all causes. The study goes on to say that you can't combat excessive sitting with an hour of intense exercise. The group that would sit the most had higher mortality rates in this study. That's interesting. This is a study was done years ago, well over 20 years ago. Sitting ages you at a cellular level. Researchers from the University of California, San Diego School of Medicine gave activity trackers to a group of 64 to 95-year-old women, questioning them about their activity. Those who sat more than 10 hours a day and got less than 40 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity had shorter telomeres. I've talked about telomeres before on this channel. Telomeres is what ages you. When your telomere, the more your telomeres shorten, the more your body ages. I mean, it's happening right now to all of us. Those who are sitting, supposedly their telomeres are shortening even quicker, so they're aging faster at a cellular level. Another study found that excessive sitting increases lung cancer by 54% and colon cancer risk by 30%. Simply standing for 15 minutes every 2 hours is also shown to be more effective for preventing biological changes than walking for 15 minutes every 2 to 4 hours. So standing is better. Getting up frequently, even if it's standing, is actually better for you than sitting for 4 hours straight and then going for a walk. A study published in 2014 found that a single hour of sitting impaired blood flow to the main artery, leg artery, by as much as 50%. So yeah, when your legs are in that 90-degree position, there's not as much blood flow going to those legs, so it's really getting cut off. A 2012 meta-analysis found that those who sat the longest period of time on a daily basis were twice as likely to have diabetes, heart disease, compared to those who sat the least. In another study, sitting more than 8 hours a day was found to raise your risk of type 2 diabetes by a whooping 90%. How many people sit more than 8 hours a day? The answer is a lot of people. And yeah, from what I'm reading too, sitting for 10 hours a day in the office and then going and getting a good intense workout for an hour is not going to combat sitting. The best thing you can do is probably get up every hour and go for a 2-minute walk if you can. That's probably the best thing you can do. I know that's not always ideal, I know that's not always easy, and I know that's not always possible. That is ideal if you can. Now, we gotta counterattack this, so let me give some suggestions to prevent chronic sitting. Ideally, get up every hour or less and take a 2-minute walk. That would be the best thing you could probably do. 2-minute walk, get those muscles activated, get your legs activated, get that blood flow from the arteries back into your legs again. It's probably the best thing you can do. So if you're at an office job, ideally if you can get up and go for a 2-minute walk, maybe bring your cell phone with you or your Bluetooth headset with you. If possible, of course. I know not everybody's in this position. Stand when you can, so maybe consider a standing desk that maybe you can sit for 45 minutes and then you can get up and stand for 15 minutes. Then you can go back to sitting for 45 minutes. Just combat that excessive sitting. I think it's all right to sit here and there, but it needs to be broken up is what it needs. Our ancestors didn't sit 8 to 10, 12 hours a day in front of a computer at a job. They didn't do that. They worked outside, they planted, they gardened, they chopped wood. They were way more physically active and probably physically more fit than most of us today. We weren't meant to just be in an office all day and sit in front of a computer for 12 hours a day. If you're at home, easier to do. I would suggest set an alarm for every 45 minutes and get up every 45 minutes. Do something. Jumping jacks, go for a walk, make 2 or 3 laps around your house, walk up and down the stairs, walk in place. I would suggest doing that every 45 minutes if you're at home. Standing desk at work, I mentioned that. Park far away, so going to the grocery store, park further away, get some walking in. Get up, get a drink, clear your head if you have to at work, walk to the drinking fountain. I know it's not always possible. Sarah drives an hour and a half home from work. We live in the suburbs of Chicago. Sarah works downtown Chicago. So when she gets out of the city, it's really busy. Traffic is hectic and crowded. It takes her an hour and a half. She sits for an hour and a half straight every day. That's definitely not ideal to do. I realize people that have truck driving jobs, you have to be at your computer, you have to answer the phone, you're waiting for important calls, you're super busy on the computer. I get it, not always possible. What I'm getting at is just do what you can. Stand up when you can. Ask your HR, ask your boss for a standing desk, or at least one that's adjustable. You can flip up a garbage can upside down too, and you can put your computer on top of the garbage can, flip it upside down, and that should be a good height for a standing desk if that's something maybe you could do at work. Alright, sorry my camera died. Do what you can. We live in a world where you got meetings, 4-hour-long meetings, conference calls. It's not always possible to get up. We live in the 21st century. My encouragement to you guys is just do what you can. That's my encouragement. Get as little sitting in as possible. You know what? Last night I sat for probably 3 hours, 2-3 hours straight. It was a Saturday night. I was tired. I worked the last 6 days. Got up at 5:30 every morning. I did not want to get up. I was not going to set an alarm to get up and do jumping jacks. Hopefully I didn't discourage anybody, but health is a serious thing, and I don't think many people know about how bad sitting is. So hopefully you learned some stuff from this video. I hope I didn't upset anybody, because you got a job where you sit all the time. But do what you can to avoid sitting. Get your butt off the couch. Alright, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.